Hi, everyone. This is Robin, and this is the last week this week for week 8. So, last week we focused on listening primarily and a little bit on creating a vision. So, in terms of learning activities, you had a couple of readings on listening and on visioning. And then, in terms of assignments, you had a listening exercise that you then talked about in your discussion forum. You also had your pick from a list of TED Talks on listening that you could watch. Optionally, I encourage you to watch more leadership videos, and I gave you some sources to find those. And then your annotated bibliography number 3 was due. So that is what we did last week. Now let's talk about what's coming up for this week. So this week, we are starting to talk about teams. And in particular, we're going to be doing some reflecting on the learning teams. This is midterm, so it's a perfect time for us to pause, think about how things are going, both in the course and on your learning teams. So, in terms of learning activities, I have 2 required articles that I'm going to ask you to read, one on teamwork versus groups, and the other on 5 things smart managers know about building teams. And then I have a couple other optional readings on teams for this week. And then in terms of assignments, there's 2 assignments. So the first assignment is to complete a start, stop, continue exercise. So this you're going to do individually. It will take about 5 minutes. I have a link for you to just go in and add any information about things that you would like Chandra and I to start doing in the second half of the semester, things you'd like us to stop doing, or things you want us to make sure that we continue doing. You are not required to add information to all 3 of these categories, but if you do have feedback for us, midterm this week is a great time to give us that feedback so that we can tweak the course up in the second half of the semester to make it as effective as possible. Now, the second assignment is a learning team reflection project, and there's really 3 parts to it. So part number 1 is individual reflection on yourself and your learning team. So you're going to pull out your team charter, you're going to read that, and then I have a few questions for you to think through individually in terms of how things are going for you and for your learning team this semester. Step number 2 is to have a discussion with your learning team about what's going well, what's not going so well, what you can be doing differently, how it is that you are meeting or not meeting your team charter. So that is the discussion that you're going to have this week. And then I am asking you in step number 3 to document a summary of that discussion. So only one person needs to submit this for your whole learning team, but it is a way to just summarize what happened in your discussion. And this is useful for me, obviously, but it's also useful for you because it is a way, as I said, to summarize what are the key points that we landed on as a result of this discussion. I did note this in the framework, but step number 3, the team learning deliverable, is not really a paper. So because of that, I'm not requiring that you adhere to the guidelines for written materials. So it's fine if you list the questions and then have paragraphs under them, or if you list the questions and have some bullet points under them. But again, the point of this is really to just document the key points that came up from your discussion. I am asking you to put a cover page on it with the names of your learning team members. And that's just so we know who all contributed to this discussion. And then optionally, I encourage you to listen to a leadership podcast. So up until now, the media that we've used is we've read blogs and we've read journal articles and we watched videos on leadership. And I just wanted to throw out the idea that there's a lot of leadership related podcasts out there. And that's another way to continue your learning around leadership. And one of the benefits, of course, of audio podcasts is that you can be listening to those while you're doing housework or the dishes or walking the dog or in your car as you're driving. So it's a great way to consume information on leadership, to learn more about leadership while you're actually doing something else, right? The gym, on the treadmill, these are all great times to listen to podcasts. And then, of course, the final thing is to keep reading leadership blogs, journal articles, and videos. Now, a couple other reminders. I sent out an announcement earlier, but this Tuesday, there are no office hours, video conference office hours from 12 to 1 Mountain Time on Tuesday because I am going to be out at a conference Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And so I wanted to let you know that because of office hours, but also I might be a little bit slower in responding to the Ask Dr. Robbins and emails. So I will obviously be checking them every day, but I am going to be tied up during the day with some other things. So that is everything that's happening this week. So let me know, let Chandra know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will see you online.